Welcome to the Evolution of a Nice Guy podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Andre Blaylock. This series aims to document my transformation from the traditional nice guy to the bad boy your mama warned you about to where I am now, the center lane between the two. Now, this evolution didn't occur overnight. The process was wrought with pain, embarrassment, and misunderstanding, but the end result was personal awareness, accountability, and emotional maturity. I hope my journey will somehow connect with yours. What's up, everybody? I thought it would be a good idea to kick this first episode off by talking to a few people and getting their definition of a nice guy, because effective communication occurs when both parties define the words the same way. So we have to make sure that we're on the same page. So I'm going to play a couple of conversations from people that I interviewed, and we'll be back after that.
Like a nice guy would be, that's a nice person for you.
Personality, just good conversation.
We're all great people, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're pushovers.
Story time. Yep. Let me tell you a story when me being the nice guy backfired. Now, the game has not changed, only the players. So this applies today. I was dating a girl for about 3 months, and she hadn't given it up yet. We had kissed a little bit, but absolutely no sex. Back in the day, good girls didn't give it up to just anybody. You had to be their boyfriend before you got some, so I was working like the Temptations to be her man. One day, she asked me if she could use my car. Now, my car? That was my baby. But I was the nice guy. I didn't have any boundaries, so I said sure. Why? Because I didn't want to talk her out of something that I really wanted, which was sex. So she told me that she would bring the car back around 7 o'clock that evening. This girl brought my car back at 11 o'clock the next day. Now, to say that I was upset was an understatement. I was pissed, but I still was the nice guy, so I didn't show it. I was happy to see her, but I was more happy to see my car. I walked around it. There was no dents or anything. I opened it up. There were beer bottles and cigarette wrappers. I wouldn't be surprised if I found condoms and drawers in my car. So when I asked her about it, she got a little snippy. She said, "Me and my friends, we just decided that we wanted to go party. It's no big deal." Well, it's a big deal to me. And I was pissed off, but I didn't want to say anything. So I remained calm. I'm like, look, let me clean my car up. I'll call you later on. I called her later on that night. She didn't pick up the phone. The very next day, I was called over by Chris. Chris outranked me. He was around 5'7", light skin, curly hair, blue eyes, bow legs. That guy. He said, "Blaylock, come here for a minute." I'm like, "What's up, man?" Like, "You know this shorty right here?" He gave me a picture, and it was him and my girl. I'm like, "Yeah, that's my girl." He's like, "Mm-hmm." He gave me another picture. This time her shirt was off. His hands all on the boobies. I'm like, "Yo, she's two-timing us. How long have you known her?" He was like, "Mm-hmm." And he gave me 4 more pictures. Now, each picture was worse than the one before it. And by the time I got to the 6th one, they were butt naked, his body parts inside of other body parts, and I was just flabbergasted. He looked at me, he was like, "Blaylock, take these pictures to the bag so you think about it. You a sucker. Blaylock, don't be a sucker." When I got back to the barracks, I thought about it. And it was really a heart-wrenching experience. I have been waiting for 3 months doing everything I could to please this woman, to satisfy this woman. And within 1 day, this dude had got further with her than I did in 3 months. Why would she do me like that? That was the overarching question. Why would she do me like that? I was a nice guy. Well, let's not just hear from me. Let's ask other guys why they think that nice guys finish last.
This again, we're gonna go on the honesty thing. Honestly, it's not always a pretty thing, and especially in the time that we're in right now. Honestly, it's taking a back seat to making people feel good. You know what I mean?
Let's unpack that. How did I behave like a traditional nice guy? Well, good old Chris said it best. I was a sucker. What did that look like? I avoided conflict and put other people's feelings before mine. Somewhere along the way, I had tricked myself into believing that my wants and desires were inferior. Nope, we're not doing that. I'm serious. Like I was saying, I had developed an inferiority complex without realizing it. I was cool when alone, but I transformed around others, especially around women I was highly attracted to. I had placed them on a pedestal, subconsciously believing they were out of my league.
So if there happens to be a guy that you're attracted to that's nice, then it wouldn't be a problem. But 9 times out of 10, the guys that are being nice and being there and consoling you, they don't got it. And I mean, I'm not just saying being nice is good and everything, but you need much more than just being nice.
They would bless me if I pleased them by being everything they wanted me to be. I was loyal, dependable, attentive, passive aggressive, and boring. All of that predictability landed me in the friend zone, stranded like a car on the highway without gas. After enduring several more emotional train wrecks, I took a long look at the man in the mirror and I decided his ass needed to make a change. As I reflected, I realized a few things. My passive aggressive nature directly conflicted with the woman's desire to be protected. If I wouldn't stand up for myself, how could she have confidence that I would fight for her? Secondly, I was constantly broke because I always tried to prove that I could provide, even though I made little money and they had expensive taste. Almost having my furniture in my apartment repossessed was impetus enough to turn this franchise around. It was time to go to the dark side.